Welcome in. I told you I'd be back. Clippers Talk After Dark is up and running as the Clippers run away with things against the Sacramento Kings. They made it look too easy. Jordan Miller made it look too easy. Carlo Jimenez made it look too easy with his call. They hit the easy Staples red button. I was impressed tonight. I don't want to make too much out of it. It's still the preseason, guys. As people start to get in here, let me know if you can hear me. As I'm pulling up post-game quotes, because I'm interested in those. I haven't gotten to hear some of the questions from La Murray, Tomer Azarli, Joey Lynn, who asked a pretty important one earlier today. But that final box score, they are not letting up. Ray is first, who got a picture with. You gonna tweet that to me or what? As we were up in Media Row, he and a buddy got a picture. It is good to be with you guys. Clips Talk After Dark. We'll see how long this goes. We'll see how much interest there is. I've been telling you guys, Jordan Miller makes it look too easy. He's too good. How can you leave him in the G League after the way he's played? I want to see this continue. I want to see him be challenged. I want to see him be pushed. I want to see what he can do against real rotation guys. Isn't that how we find out how good someone is? You have to test them. I got an IG account. Why are there so many private IG accounts? I understand for women, but why are there so... I don't get it. I usually think they're bots. I'm at Clippers Talk Follow Out of May, I think. Or is it Follow Out of May Clippers Talk? I forget. You guys tell me if you followed me on the gram. Clippers win 113-91 over the Sacramento Kings, who went 0-5 in the preseason, which I'd be a little bit alarmed. I'm sure they'll win 10 in a row as soon as the regular season starts. They didn't have De'Aaron Fox. I understand. You know who they did have? DeMar DeRozan, who played 25 minutes. Keegan Murray, who played 29. Domantas Sabonis, who played 27. What? And the Clippers just dismantled them? Without James Harden? Without Jordan Miller? That was something else. The Kings had 9 turnovers in the first quarter. They finished with 23. The Clippers end up with 19 fast break points. Okay, it wasn't 36. That was an anomaly. Getting 29 turnovers and 36 fast break points like they did Monday night. That's not going to happen very often. How did Bones look? Good. Good enough to run a second unit in the NBA. I've been a believer in him forever. How can you not be if you've actually paid attention? The guy has had big playoff games. The guy has had 37 in a regular season game. Bones had 2 steals right away, getting Mann a dunk and then Terrence Mann an and one. Then he had his own bucket where he went behind his back for a running floater off the glass. Bones had a long 3, ended the second quarter with 3 minutes left. And then a tough left-handed layup that, he got around the opposition so easily. Ended up with, I think, 3 steals. That's right, Ray? Bones offers juice, electricity on offense, downhill attack. Remember, last season, he got much better with finishing at the rim. That was, believe it or not, he was shooting better from 3, I think, his first couple seasons than he was around the rim. But last season, that was different. But last season ended pretty quickly for him. Basically, they brought in James Harden. No issue there. Just wish there was a way for him to start over Russell Westbrook, or at least be the first point guard off the bench. I understand why that didn't happen. I still think it could have been a huge year for Bones. Look at his first 4 games when he was getting minutes last season. People are criticizing some of his play in the preseason before tonight. And it's like, who gives a damn? This guy has proven it against much better competition in the regular season and in the playoffs. The only reason Bones Highland has not turned into a NBA solid backup point guard, 6-man type, is because of opportunity. Because he ended up going to Denver. They're competing for a championship. He didn't get along with Jamal Murray, apparently. And then he comes to a Clippers team that's also trying to contend. And after getting the backup point guard spot, they bring in James Harden. That bumps Russell Westbrook back to being the backup point guard. Or not back to, for the first time. But look at what Bones was doing the first 4 games last year in the regular season. He was getting 25 minutes a night. He was averaging 16 points. He was shooting 49% from the floor. He was shooting 46% from 3. Those were his first 4 games. 17 points, 12 points, 18 points, 17 points. Bones was on his way for the breakout season. If the timeline was different, if they just, I don't think the front office obviously wanted to bring in Russell Westbrook. Paul George put the pressure on. Coach Lou wanted a point guard. I understand, but the fact that they wanted to bring in James Harden right afterwards kind of tells you everything. That's the type of point guard they were looking for. The better one. Sorry, Russ fans. Doing a lot of talking the last 5-6 hours. Got to hydrate the voice. Probably going to order something off of DoorDash at some point here. Again. But, man, who gives? I don't care what Kendrick Perkins says. Don't make me mute you, Frankie Boy 9. I don't care what wannabe hot take artists are doing. The guy has said some of the most mindless NBA stuff. Remember when he used to say Giannis was a Robin, and then Giannis won the NBA Finals by scoring 50 in a closeout Game 6? He has so many bad takes. But he played the game, so they must have more weight to them, right? Not really. Uncle Mike said, good. I like that kid's game. What kid's game? Oh, Bones Highlands game? I do too. Thank you, Soggy Cereal. Appreciate you guys checking out the pregame. I told you I'd be back for the postgame, and now Clippers Talk After Dark. Ray gives a recommendation of what I should order on DoorDash. K-Town chicken at the Dome was good. I guess I can't DoorDash from Intuit Dome. Frankie Boy 9 said, I'm with you, Adam. I already mute all ESPN on my Twitter. If you go back to my first episode on this Clippers Talk channel from 2 months ago, maybe 2 months, I don't even know if it's been that long, you will see the very first episode, me go after Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins and these guys and Skip Bayless. I highly recommend the first episode I did on this channel in the video section. People are coming in now. Juan Angula said, hey, yo, Ray, that Korean chicken is bomb. I got to try it now. Double sourced it. Juan and Ray says it's good. Mike Dang said, let's go preseason D. Let's translate it to the regular season. Mike Dang, I already retweeted him earlier. So I should give out, because he had a good tweet on the numbers after tonight. I'm guessing this was the new calculation coming off NBA.com for opponent field goal percentage in the preseason and defensive rating. The Clippers ended up number 1 in opponent field goal percentage. I don't know if anyone else has preseason games left, to be honest. But the Clippers held opponents to 38.8% shooting in the preseason. That was number 1. The team behind them, this is more encouraging, was the OKC Thunder. The team behind that, the Detroit Pistons. The team behind that, the Portland Trail Blazers, then the Rockets, okay, then Golden State, okay. No, New York in front of Golden State. So I'm hoping there's something meaningful here. Don't want to just write it off because it's preseason. So the Clippers had, to this point, you guys tell me if anyone else has a preseason game left. The Clippers had the number one defensive rating in the preseason at 94.2 and the best opponent field goal percentage, or the lowest, at 38.8%. Mike Dang, thank you for that tweet. Doing the Lord's work. I mean, it's something I would have looked up anyways, but no, it saved me a little bit of time. Jeremy Shoes said, surely we get real NBA minutes for Jordan Miller this season, right? That is the $1 million question. Let's talk about it. Ross wants to talk about it too. Miller and Brown were out early shooting threes before the game, and it paid off. I mean, they usually are. I don't think it was just today. Senile Lililu said, keep up the good work. Blessings. Thank you. Thanks to you guys for the support and coming in here late at night, hanging out. I have fun. Even when I give people timeouts and stuff, it's usually all in good fun. It ain't that serious. Just when there's stakes, makes things a little bit more interesting. You say something really wacky and get it in a timeout. It's funny to me. Jeremy Mormon points out last games are tomorrow. So the numbers could still fluctuate, but the Clippers, in their 5 games, at worst, they were one of the top defenses during the preseason. How meaningful is that? I got an idea. I got an interesting idea. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back to last year's preseason and check out who the best teams were defensively. What do you guys think about that? That could be interesting. Last year, the 23-24 preseason, who were the best defensive teams, and how did it translate when it came to the regular season? All right, let's see, guys. Let's see. Is there something to defense in the preseason or not? So, as you know, the best defensive team in the regular season last season would be the Minnesota Timberwolves. What were they in the preseason heading into the 2023-24 year? They were 7th. Okay. What about the second best defensive team? The Boston Celtics. What were they in the preseason last year? 11th. Okay. The Orlando Magic, 3rd best defense. What were they in the preseason? 5th. That almost lines up. The Oklahoma City Thunder, 4th best defense. Where were they in the preseason last year? Uh-oh. They were 30th. Only ahead of Real Madrid. Wait a second. How'd the New York Knicks finish 33rd? The Breakers were better defensively in the preseason than them. Some non-NBA teams were. Okay, so there's one clear outlier. OKC wasn't good in the preseason last year defensively. They ended up 4th in the regular season. The Miami Heat, they were 5th. Where were they preseason? Where was Miami at? 29th. Right in front of OKC. This is an interesting exercise here. Oh, Jeremy Mormon doesn't like this. He doesn't want the truth. Don't do it, Adam. Let's ride the high. Not how I operate. I'm a solutions-driven guy. I'm about realistic solutions and the facts and the numbers and reality. And this is a reality check in real time. The New Orleans Pelicans were the 6th best defense last year. Where were they in the preseason? 16th. 10 spots down. The Cleveland Cavaliers, 7th best defense. We'll do the top 10 here. They were 4th in the preseason last year. Okay. The Denver Nuggets, the 8th best defense last season. Where were they? Where was Denver in the preseason? Did they care? They had just won a championship. They did not. They were 28th defensively, and they still were 8th last season. The New York Knickerbockers, the New York Knicks. They were 9th in the regular season. What were they in the preseason? The Knicks, where were they? Was there something to it or not? No, they were 33rd. I told you. They were behind Real Madrid, Flamengo, non-NBA teams. They were absolute trash in the preseason, and yet they were top 10 in the regular season. The Houston Rockets, they were the 10th best defense last season. What were they in the preseason? Uh-oh. Where are you at, Houston? Okay, they were second. So it's kind of hit and miss, guys, with the top 10 teams in the regular season and if they were actually good last year in the preseason. Make what you will out of that. Mike Dang's not going to like this. Well, the only numbers we have to go off of this year so far says we're number 1. Yeah, but, I mean, the number 1 defense in the preseason last year was the Toronto Raptors. What were they in the regular season? 26th. There's your comp. The Raptors were the number 1 preseason defense, just like the Clippers are, and they finished 26th in the regular season. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't think the Clippers are finishing 26th, but you know what they were in the preseason last year? 6th. You know what they finished? The Clippers? 16th in the regular season. They dropped 10 spots, and they were way worse than that. After the first 11 games, they were 21st defensively. I don't know, guys. Last year's old news. Yeah, it's so long ago. Soggy Cereal said, what about the NBA Cup to the finals? Pacers did well. Lakers not so much. Yeah, that's not a great indicator either, I guess, or it's mixed. People are saying the wall is the difference maker. We have been giving people credit. Carlo Jimenez and I. Carlo, let me know if you're in here. For every missed free throw, Carlo is giving the wall credit. The opposition missed a free throw tonight. The Kings missed a free throw. Guess who gets credit? The wall. You guys are doing big work. Frankie Boy 9 said, but last season we didn't have Jeff Van Gundy. That's fine. They were still 6th defensively in the preseason, and they finished 16th in the regular season. Mike Dang saying the same thing. This year we have Jeff Van Gundy to keep us on track. I agree. It's all pointing in the right direction. The personnel, the coaching, the defensive coordinator. I think it's fair to check out those teams and see what it means to be good in the preseason and if it translates. That's all. Just want to see if there was some carryover. Not trying to take the wind out of your sails, Clipper Nation. Just trying to be fair, honest, unbiased. God, what do I want to get to eat tonight? I've eaten like 500 calories today. Told Brian Seaman that earlier. He gave me a look. I'm starving. I don't know. I want to check out some of these post-game quotes. I know La Murray had some stuff here. Man, Sacramento Kings did not look good in the preseason. Probably means nothing. Nothing. Coach Lou said this about the Clippers offense post-game. I think we have enough stuff in to start the season regarding offensive schemes, game plans, plays. Okay. Coach Lou also said that Chris Dunn reminds him a lot of Nico Batum. What do you guys think of that? I like that. I like hearing that about Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn tonight in the game, final box score. He ended up playing 15 minutes, went 0 of 2. Both shots were three-pointers. Had a couple of boards, a turnover. Didn't do much. Didn't make a huge impact. But I think his point is, like with Nico Batum, it's bigger than the box score. Unless you check like the plus minus, usually those guys always win their minutes, at least Nico. But let's see, almost everybody won their minutes tonight. It was only Braxton Key who lost his late in the game, and he actually looked kind of good. 3 of 3, had a big dunk, knocked down a three-pointer. I was watching him pregame. They were doing a little scrimmage with Trenton Flowers. I was paying close attention to Trenton Flowers. Pregame, they had, I don't know if they're playing, I can't see if it was 5-on-5. Didn't look that congested, but they were playing a little half-court game, trying to keep the young guys warm, staying ready, a stay ready Clippers game, maybe it was. And Trenton Flowers has some skill. He's just coming back from the broken wrist, so maybe that's why he didn't play tonight. Jeremy Mormon said, I hope they keep track of free throw percentage on the hoop by the wall versus on the opposite side this year. Me too. Maybe we can do that for Clips and Dip instead of the give no quarter thing. Soggy Cereal said, Harden hasn't missed a playoff, so that tracks. We are good. That's true. Mike Dang says, it feels like the defense this year goes beyond just the players. Unstatable. It seems whoever is in the game, regardless of name, is buying in on the concepts. Credits to the staff and the system. There's no denying that, at least from what we've seen in the preseason. Everybody is absolutely bought in, guys. They are working hard out there. I love seeing it. Really do. I love ordering Taco Bell off DoorDash, which I'm doing there right now. I've told you I was hungry. Yeah, I'm getting 2 chips and nacho cheese. Utah, give me 2. Shout out PMS. More from post-game stuff. The Ivica Zubac's Defensive Player of the Year campaign is underway, according to Coach Lou. I thought Ivica Zubac had some really good moments. So his first bucket, he only had 8 points. He played, I think, 15 minutes. He backed down Sabonis for a right-handed hook. He's kind of owned him at times. He's had 2 huge dunks on him. Sabonis has also dunked on him before. But then Zoo caught an oop off a Batum pass where the ball was at his chest and he had to pull it up and in. This was like an old Josh Smith type of oop. Like, Zubac showed off the athleticism and coordination. I said it as it happened, but to all you people saying he has bad hands, it's like, those weren't bad hands right there. The way he got that ball up, it was at his chest to pull it up above the rim for the oop. Ooh, Chemo LAC said T. Lou said Bones will have a role this year. Maybe he won't be packaged with PJ in a trade. I have more on that in a little bit, and Jordan Miller, and the Kawhi news from earlier today. So I guess we'll be here for a little bit at least. God, it's almost 12 o'clock already. Where did the time go? And when will my order be here? And I have to actually put in that I want hot sauce, I'm guessing. I'm sorry. Is this TMI? TMI? Taco Bell? Too much information? I just... hot sauce packet. Plus. God, I'm going to end up paying like $30 for this DoorDash, but I don't care. Hanging out with you guys. That Zoo dunk was, I mean, legit. That was kind of special. He also had a floater midway through the second on the baseline. But I can't stress enough how the Sacramento Kings were like going for this. Outside of not having De'Aaron Fox, they wanted to see something. They hadn't won in the preseason, and they still ended up looking this bad. This was my favorite performance of the preseason by the Clippers. By far. I don't need to see James Harden in the preseason. I know what he can do. I'm not worried about him at all. What I needed to see was Bones Highland. Because here's the thing, guys. As we heard from Chemo LAC here, talking about Coach Lou bringing up Bones Highland having a role, here's the thing, and I'm going to look for that quote too, see if I can find it from Tomer Azarli or somebody else, just to confirm, just to be accurate here. You know, if you have listened to Clippers Talk or me on Clips and Dip forever, or me on the radio, that I am a huge Bones Highland fan. Huge fan. I am a member of the Skeleton Key Army. Not like the Skeleton Army from Army of Darkness. But the Bones Highland skeleton key, that's been my nickname for him. He can unlock so much. I truly believe if he had gotten the opportunity based on the numbers and how he was averaging 15 points a game the first 4 games when he was backup point guard at the very beginning of last season, shooting 50% from the floor and 40% from 3, he would have had a huge year. He could have been a difference maker for the Clippers. I understand what ended up happening. Bring in James Harden, Russ comes off the bench, Bones is out of the rotation. However, I've never given up on Bones Highland. I thought the Clippers might have at times. I never have. I believe he's a backup point guard in the league. I believe it with all my basketball heart. Bones Highland is electric. I've seen him show up in playoff games for Denver and for the Clippers. I've seen him have 37 in a regular season game last year. Almost had 40. They threw a triple team at him at the very end to stop him. Bones Highland can do this. He's a legit NBA rotation player. He is. And by the way, his defense as a Clipper, whenever he's getting serious minutes and real run, has always been way better than advertised from Denver Nuggets fans. And tonight, you saw it. He got multiple deflections and steals. Whenever he's given a real opportunity, and look, there's a downside to this, but when they have believed in him and given him, more of the reins, he's been good. The game against Chicago, where he comes back late in the season, thinks he's getting back into the rotation. Whenever he feels like he's actually going to be included and given a real opportunity, he takes advantage of it. I'm telling you. The problem has been for Bones. I swear to God, did I just send? I sent it to the wrong location. Now I hate myself. I had ordered DoorDash yesterday at a friend's house, and I just sent it there. Gosh freaking damn it. Cancel order. I am a fool. Back to Bones. Maybe I shouldn't eat tonight so I can see more of my own, as I'm trying to get to 10% body fat. I want to see Bones Highland be used, and here's how I think it might happen. And I should mention the downside that I brought up. When he's not getting serious minutes, he is completely unserious out there. It's bad, bad basketball, guys. Soggy cereal gave me $2. Get yourself another taco. Worry about body mass index later. Thanks, my guy. You guys are feeding me. Keep me alive here. On Clippers Talk After Dark. Oh, I'm still just going to, order it from my own address this time. Such a dumbass. I always make that mistake. The amount of friends that I've ordered food for on accident. Okay, so Bones Highland, when he gets garbage time minutes, guys, it is embarrassing. He does not give a real effort. It's borderline unprofessional. And I think the coaching staff has noticed that. And that attitude or sulking or whatever it's been the last year, I understand to a degree. He thought he had the backup point guard job, but you can't do that as a young player. Bones can't do that. Can't happen. Sorry. Ooh, Fatburger delivers. So here's the scenario where Bones gets real run this season and everything changes. That guy Spencer said, fantastic game. More people coming in. Appreciate you. More money. You guys really don't have to do this. I appreciate you all. It was my fault. It was my fault. I love you all. For reals, though. Here's the scenario, guys. I see it. I tweeted this out earlier. This is something I think is actually going to happen and why Bones was in the starting lineup tonight. First of all, James Harden doesn't need to play anymore in the preseason. We're good. Seen enough. We know who he is. But I tweeted this out. I wonder if the reason they gave Bones a shot tonight is to be prepared for a situation where KPJ gets suspended. Because I think it's more likely than not, based on precedent in the NBA, he does. I don't know when it could happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know how many games it's going to be. Stop asking me those questions. But if it happens, they need another ball handler because that was KPJ's role. And if it happens for an extended amount of time, Miles Bridges, I think, got 30 games. He could be totally out of the rotation. It could crater his year. And that's just the way it is. Nobody's going to feel bad for him. But it could completely set him back, and therefore, they have to find somebody else. That might be the reason Bones has not been traded, because they don't know what the outcome of the KPJ investigation by the NBA is going to be. That's it. And therefore, Bones Highland would be very much needed by this team again, and I might get my wish for him to be the guy backing up James Harden instead of Russell Westbrook. That's a real possibility. And if Coach Lou's talking about him having a role, maybe he's the backup plan if KPJ gets suspended. Don't you think that sounds reasonable? Couldn't that happen? Am I nuts? That's the first thing I thought tonight when I heard Coach Lou say in the pregame presser that Bones Highland will be starting. It's been in the back of my mind for some time. If KPJ gets suspended, what happens? They don't have enough creators. They don't have enough ball handlers. Well, they still have Bones Highland. And he played well. And he played like a guy that maybe realized he's back in. That he can still salvage his NBA career. If he got traded to a bad team, I think he'd get real minutes right away. He's that good. It's been hard for him because of a very specific situation with his last two teams, including the Clippers in there. Denver before that, didn't get along with Jamal Murray. Don't know what the deal is there. But also, young player, and they were going for a championship. Same thing with the Clippers, contenders. But he had the backup job, and last year in Hawaii, in training camp, every guy to a man said Bones Highland was the most impressive guy in 2023 in their training camp in Honolulu. Juan Anguilla said Bones going to make his trade value go up during that period. I mean, it would happen. If Bones plays, if you give him an opportunity, a real shot, real minutes, he is absolutely going to get, I don't know, in a situation where he shows how valuable he can be. I'm telling you right now, if Bones gets his shot, I'm going to remind you, first 4 games last season, before the backup job was taken away, he was averaging 16 points on 49% from the floor and 46% from 3. Bones can do this. And I need this. I've been talking about the skeleton key so much. I just want to see this happen. I badly want to see Bones Highland get a real shot. I love him. I love the spirit he plays with. Not when he's getting garbage time minutes and he dogs it. Don't like that stuff. But I'm telling you, Bones Highland can do this. This could be it. I don't know what's going to happen with KPJ, but I'm telling you, this could be the window for Bones to find himself back in a complimentary role, a real one. Clips Gang TV says Ballmer knew about KPJ's problems. He wouldn't be here if Ballmer couldn't handle it. I mean, we've talked about this. Who are you talking to? He played ball with his son. Jeremy Mormon said, I just realized it's ironic that Russell Westbrook is now the backup point guard for the Denver Nuggets. Is it? Does that qualify? Is this irony? You guys ever watch the movie Reality Bites with Ethan the Hawk and Winona Ryder, who probably many of you just know from Stranger Things, you casuals? Check her out in Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. Yeah, I'm telling you. No. Bones is not just an ISO player. He can run pick and roll. And he has proven to be a guy that puts up threes. He is a good off-the-bounce three-point shooter. You don't know Bones. I don't know what you're talking about with this. Bones can play, can create for himself and others. If KPJ's out, they don't have guys that can do that outside of Harden. They don't. I'm telling you right now. Get on board. Because if KPJ gets suspended, Bones Highland Hive is back up. It's happening. Coach Lou said it, according to one of you guys in here. I am a believer. I've seen enough. Sore Losers Gaming said Bones is the definition of playmaker. I wouldn't go that far, but I still know he could do it. Frankie Boy 9 said Clips Gang TV. What are you talking about? Bones is awesome. Yeah, Clips Gang TV, dangerously close. Bro, Bones was traded because of attitude issues and not getting along with Jamal Murray. Do not act like it was about ability. He won them a playoff game. All right, this is a timeout. Our first of the night. Clip Gangs TV is spreading misinformation. I don't like it. That's a timeout. That qualifies. I'm sorry. This is what we do here. I don't always want to do it, but I felt compelled. I'm not listening to that. Tim May said, I went to the game and found myself rooting for Bones more than anyone except Jordan Miller. That makes sense to me. All right, guys. The Taco Bell's back on the menu. Meat's back on the menu, boys. Fake meat that's 99% additives. Art H said, Miller should be getting 12 minutes a game now that Kawhi is out. He deserves playing time. All right, give me the 10-man rotation that Coach Lou is talking about and show me how Brandon Miller is in it. Give it to me. Somebody. I need it. How does it happen that he is in the 10-man rotation, Jordan Miller? How can that be possible? Let's go through the starting lineup. It is James Harden, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, Derek Jones Jr., Ivica Zubac. There's 5 guys. The bench, Amir Coffey. Are you saying that Jordan Miller is already above Amir Coffey, who had 18 and has been really consistent and good in the preseason? And, oh, yeah, he was their best player in 2021, January, in the regular season. I think he's proven more than Jordan Miller. If I called him Brandon Miller, I apologize. Ray said, Adam is going to save sports media with this channel. No misinformation, all receipts. I love this. Now you guys are starting to understand my style. Here's a 10-man. Juan Angulo said, Harden, Norm, Mann, DJ, Zoo, KPJ or Bones. That's 6. Done. 7. Amir or Jordan, Batum. Okay. I need just 10. Just 10. I want you to make a tough decision here. How does Jordan Miller get into the 10-man rotation that Coach Lou's talking about? Tell me how. Who's out? If he's in, who's out? I need to know this. I do. It's not as easy as just saying they have to give him minutes. Tell me how it can happen realistically. Crack the code. Tim A said, why do you think the stadium was less than half full? Preseason game. Simple. Preseason game. Simple. That's an easy answer, my friend. Occam's razor. Preseason game. Why do you think? That's the reason. It's going to be full on Wednesday. Trust me. Believe that. Can you guys figure this out? Figure out how Jordan Miller gets in. Because I'm not sure. How does he get into the 10-man? Automatically, Kobe's out. Not if you want Jordan Miller in, Jeremy Mormon. He said, I think Kobe would make the rotation before Miller. Because Miller's on a two-way? I get it, but that's politics. Should he? What has Kobe done that makes you think he's better than Jordan Miller or should get playing time over him? I don't know if you can make that case, and I like Kobe. Juan Anguilla said, I think if Kobe is averaging more points than Coffee, he'll take his spot. Bro, how does he get minutes to average more than Coffee? First of all, to prove that. What's the 10-man? Deca Fantastic said it's Batum that will be missing a lot of games resting. I agree that could happen. They should save and preserve Nico Batum as much as possible. He's a national treasure, even though he's French. With Clipper Nation, he is. Ray said the fans were still stoked to be there, made lots of new friends at the wall, and met a few podcasters. Ross thinks he has it figured out. After the starting five, he goes Batum, Dunn, Coffee, Jones or Bamba, and KPJ or Highland. He thinks Miller would have to replace Dunn. That's not going to happen. I'm telling you, how do you figure out how he cracks the 10-man? Mike Dang takes a crack at it. Harden, Norm, Man, DJ Zoo, your starting five. Next five, Batum, Dunn, KPJ, Miller. We haven't even included Kawhi in this 10-man. I just realized. More on that in a bit. So you have Amir out for Jordan Miller. Amir, who has actually proved things in the regular season. Micah Ross says, how are you doing tonight? Good. How are you? Jeremy Mormon said, I don't think either of them will. What are you referring to? Either who? Confusing.
What's the context?
Sorry, trying to blow my eardrums out so I can hear better. What's the 10-man roster when Kawhi's back? Lucky's R6 says it. If he comes back, LOL, who's the odd man out? Before we even get to Jordan Miller, that's not a bad point. Probably going to depend on how guys play. Obviously, Adam. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Art H says PG. Oh, he's going by position. I ain't talking about Paul George. Okay, you're giving us the starting lineup. We know what the starting lineup is. We can move past that. Then he's got Dunn, KPJ, Miller, Coffee, Batum. You're missing something. A backup big. That doesn't work. You don't have a backup big in there. You're forgetting about having a backup big. I'm telling you, it's a math number issue. Juan Anguilla said, if Batum out, maybe Amir to the 4, then Jordan 3. That would be interesting. If Batum's out. Clip Gang TV said, no misinformation. I'm with our team. Google everything I said about Ballmer. Dude, I didn't say that was misinformation about Ballmer and KPJ. That's misinformation that you're saying that I was saying that was misinformation. You fool. Is that the guy I muted about Bones because he was giving up bad information there? It had nothing to do with Ballmer and KPJ. Rewind it. Check the tape. Well, he's getting muted in a timeout anyways. That Mexican Nar said, if I'm Norman, I'm concerned on Miller's and KPJ's development. I don't think he's that concerned right now. Sore Losers Gaming said, who are you looking for to have a huge game Wednesday? It's too early for that. If you had to pick outside of Harden, how about Zoo against their bigs? How about that? That Mexican Nar said, could make him expendable if they both take a step. You think Norm's going to be expendable? Like, Norm's probably going to be averaging like 18 a game in the starting lineup. And based upon how efficient he is, that's not hard. Ross said Miller will get his chance once injuries and player resting starts during the season. So that's how it happens. He can't break in until those specific parameters or caveats are included. All right. That's logical. We got this from Jordan Miller post-game. Quote, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I want to prove I'm too good for the G League. He's proved enough to me. He averaged 22 points, was the 8th highest scorer. Then what he did in Summer League. Now what he's done in the preseason. Now what he just did to Keegan Murray, who was on him, who's big and has experience in the league. Even though he's a young player, he's a good defender. Like, he was doing this tonight against real NBA talent. That's what I've been asking to see, wanting to see. Give him the opportunity. Jordan Miller against real NBA talent. He's done everything else. Mike Dang brings up something. Consolation trade is needed for Miller to get consistent minutes. Well, that opens a whole nother can of worms up. Who's included then? I appreciate everybody in here. Even the guy put in timeout earlier, who deserved it, especially after coming back and then accusing me of misinformation about something I wasn't even referring to. Sorry, a little tired. Dat guy Spencer said, can Jordan Miller be a future All-Star? Can he play 15 minutes in the NBA? Can we stop with that and just talk about he hasn't even played regular season real minutes yet. He got a few last year. Rafael Romo said it's Miller time. Can he be a future All-Star? How about we see him against real rotation NBA players, first and second units in a regular season first? How about that? That's all I'm asking for. Order picked up from Taco Bell. Okay, maybe I was also asking for that. Juan Angula said, Jordan ain't lying. The fact that he can get to the line like Norm is fire. I mean, his downhill attack is crazy, guys. He's just bulldozing fools. 8 of 11 and hitting tough shots in the lane, but he makes it look easy. The game is slowed down so much. He never gets sped up. He picks his spots. He gets to his spots. Mike Dang said L. Frank needs to figure it out. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. Well, of course. I know we're not actually going to be pulling the strings on what happens here. I just think it's an interesting thought experiment. Javal 18 said, I would like to see Jordan run the offense a little more. He plays well off the ball, but plays better with the ball. I love how he creates opportunities. Someone else said he could be the backup point guard over KPJ, and that guy is kind of nuts. That's too soon. I don't think he can be the backup point guard. I don't think his handle is that tight for his height, but he certainly can be a good connector. He can get downhill and drive to the basket. That is proven. I just don't know about bringing the ball up all the time and really orchestrating the offense. That may be a step too far at this point. A little bit too far. But I can't tell you how impressed I've been with Jordan Miller, and especially tonight. He was Carlo Jimenez's player to watch. I had Bones Highland. I think I did well too. But he started things off. Miller, left-hand floater, and one. Miller floater in the lane. You know what? Can I just find the damn highlights and show them to you? Maybe that's one way that I can get some food. Ooh, Robert Flom said this. He's coming on with me tomorrow. Big shot Bob Flom, the Eeyore of Clippers media. He said this about Jordan Miller. Jordan Miller is a fascinating development story. Jordan Miller is a fascinating development story. Was a guy I really liked late in the draft. He did as a potential 3-and-D guy. And somehow in 1 year in the G League, has turned into a downhill driving menace. That's the thing. He didn't shoot the three ball good. Well, I need to speak good. He didn't shoot the three ball well in the G League last year, but he did in Summer League. Really? People are paying me to go to bed now? Donald Brown? Is it that bad? Clippers talk after dark? Amir Ahmad said, waiting for regular season. It turns out our franchise player is checking out. I'm so excited. Doomer. Juan Angulo said Jordan can be played with Dunn, Coffee, Batum, and Kai. Jordan can be played with a lot of guys. That's what's working in his favor. Juan Angulo said defense would be good. I ain't going to bed yet. I got to eat first at least. Deca Fantastic said Jordan Miller on defense has been good as well. Yeah, I brought up a play against DeMar DeRozan, denying him the basketball and knocking it out of bounds on the far side sideline. The potential is real. He's also 24. This is a good point. He's going to be 25 at the end of the season. So we have to figure things out with him soon, or else he might demand a trade. Guys, he ain't going to be demanding a trade yet. Trust me on that. Ross said Miller's 3 release mimics Batum. Yes, the no dip 3. I got some dip coming with my chips as I order nachos from Taco Bell. Amir Ahmad said, so who are we going to play with guys at the same positions? Can Jordan play the 4 is a big question. Sword Losers Gaming said Adam is for the people, loving all the hours put in. Thank you for not telling me just to go to bed. Amir Ahmad said we have 10 guys who play shooting guard. That's gross exaggeration. You're trying to make a point. But one of these guys could be suspended. And if it's anything close to the Miles Bridges initial suspension, that's 30 games. That's significant. Clips and no dips. The no dip 3s are a Clippers staple now. And I love them. And Jordan Miller picking that up after what? A training camp last season with Nico Batum before Batum was traded. He figured out this no dip 3 thing. But again, he did not shoot it well. If I bring up the G League numbers with Jordan Miller, he didn't shoot it well in the G League from 3. Like Robert Flom said, he became this driving force. He was at 31% from 3 in the G League in 23 games on almost 5 attempts per game. So healthy sample size. Is he a 3-point shooter? Did he just get hot in Summer League? He went 2 of 2 tonight. Is it too soon? Yeah, I think it's too soon. Give him some run in the NBA in the regular season against real guys. That's what I'm looking to see. But it's easy to say that, and that's why I brought up the point of, so who's out? Can't just say that. Who's out? It's hard to figure these things out. Something else that was difficult earlier today. Man, okay, here's the Jordan Miller play I was looking for where he splits the defense. I want you guys to see this. And I'm going to put this on a loop, and I'm going to collect my food here, and I will be right back for you. But this is a thing of beauty. Check it out. Check it out. Thank you. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. All right, did you see enough of that? Did that keep you entertained? I mean, Jordan Miller had 16 points in 10 minutes in the first half, as Andy on here pointed out, and I pointed out when we did the halftime show. Man, splitting the defense like that. Amir Ahmad said, Juan, so no Norman Powell or Terrence Mann. I'm telling you, it's hard to figure out a 10-man rotation that includes Jordan Miller without taking someone significant out. Juan Anguilla said those dudes starting. Tim Hayes said, does Miller develop more practicing with the big club or playing in the G League where he might not have anything left to prove? This is a good question. This is a smart question. Tim A, you get an A+. I don't know. It depends. It depends on just seeing where his skill set is against some of the best in the league. The only way to know that is to give him run against NBA players. If the game looks too fast against first and second units in the regular season, then he might need more seasoning in the G League. But at this point, I want to see it. Sore Losers Gaming said, should T-Man be nervous? Not after the way he just played. Did you guys watch T-Man in that ball game? 5 of 6, knocked down a three-pointer, 12 points. Man was really good. Had a jumper early, three-pointer in the first, fouled in transition, went 1-on-3, had a putback. As long as he's taking threes, that's the key to success for him. Miller lengthy enough to run the 4, says Mauricio. I don't know. He's 6'5", but he has, I think, a 6'11", 7-foot wingspan. He looks taller. He gets tough boards. That's one thing I noticed in Summer League watching him. He follows his shot really well. If he misses it, he's gotten multiple offensive rebounds that way. He's scrappy. He's got a motor on him. He's got so much that you want. Is the three-point shooting real or not? It could be that simple. Is it real? Is he such a menace driving the basketball? It doesn't matter. He's just so efficient with his little push shot and runner and playing through traffic. That's kind of what makes him special. A lot of guys shy away when there's too much contact. It throws them off. Jordan Miller seems to embrace it. The contact doesn't bother him at all in the lane. That's special. Amir Ahmad says starting lineup, Harden, Norm, Terrence, Zubats, and who at the 4? Well, it's Derek Jones Jr. right now. The starting lineup is already established. We're not talking about that anymore. We've moved past that. ST said maybe if he goes back to the G League, he should play the 1 or the 4. Could develop into a player who can fit in anywhere. Yeah, but sometimes you're a jack of all trades, master of none then. Like, I don't know, Kobe Brown, who hasn't found his niche. What does he do well enough? And I thought he played well tonight. Was more aggressive in the second half. Dan K said KPJ, sky's the limit if he can't keep his mental-ish together. He may get suspended. Likely. Ray says peace out. Mauricio said, your guess of who gets waived, potentially traded. Traded? PJ Tucker. Amir Ahmad, Kai Jones, and KPJ too. Not sure what he's referring to. Chemo LAC says, going to hit the sack. Keep up the good work, Adam. Enjoy that run to the border, Taco Bell. Oh, I will. And yeah, I may have done a double DoorDash thing. Double Dash. Where I ordered something from 7-Eleven as well. Yeah. I didn't eat enough today. I deserve it. Lastly, I want to talk about this from Joey Lynn, who asked the question that everybody had been wondering, that I had been asking people, that I have asked Law Murray when he came on. The most pertinent question you could ask regarding Kawhi Leonard. And we got this today. Going to play the audio for you. And I want you guys to hear this. I also played it pregame off the radio air, but air. Not error, but yeah, I need to sleep soon. But I want you guys to hear this. Joey Lynn, first question to Coach Lou, pregame.
So we obviously saw the Kawhi news today that he's going to be out indefinitely. I just wanted to ask, when we were talking to Lawrence in Vegas, and he expressed a level of disappointment that Kawhi was not going to be given the opportunity to kind of ramp up and have an opportunity to compete in the Olympics. What transpired between then and now to where you guys felt a level of optimism that he was going to be able to potentially contribute in Paris to where now he's not ready for the start of the season?
Yeah, I mean, he felt good. He felt good. He looked good. The swelling was down. Everything was going in the right direction. So he had worked hard to get to that point. And then, once you start playing, you never know what's going to happen, But he was in position, we thought, in the right position to go forward. And like I said, it was just a setback. So that was unfortunate.
So there was a setback between then and now?
Well, because I'm saying after the USA trials, yeah, it was. We continue to ramp up, continue to play, continue to work out.
So we found out there was a setback. Not recently, not since training camp, but there was after Team USA. We know that now. Joey Lynn asked the right question, got the answer from Coach Lou on that. Something occurred after Team USA. How significant, we don't know. Maybe gave him a scare to be overly cautious now with Kawhi Leonard, and that's what we're seeing. I don't know if this is encouraging or not, because the setback happened. We're talking late June, early July then, when Team USA camp was over, when they didn't bring Kawhi with them to France, when they sent him home. That means it happened closer to when the surgery was in May. So was he just trying to push things to come back and play for Team USA too quickly? And he had a setback right afterwards because of that? And it was just too much too soon after whatever the procedure was? Or was it just a setback because he started playing high-level basketball again, 5-on-5? You saw the practice footage with him and Team USA, and his body is saying no. That's what's scary. No one knows how the knee's going to respond or if it's just going to swell back up once he's doing the normal basketball things again. Can do all the rest, rehab, recovery, strength training for it, but that's not high-level basketball. Will his knee hold up when he's back to doing on-court activities, practicing, doing 5-on-5, and then eventually getting into a ball game and having to make all those tough movements? That's my question. Will then there be another setback? Because he hasn't really tested it yet, doing the most strenuous activities that are required in 5-on-5 high-level NBA basketball. Is that the only reason it hasn't swollen up, or the swelling has been going down and is almost gone? But if he gets back to that, will it go back up? That's always been my concern. You can check stuff that I said from April. No one knows. But we at least know there was a setback after Team USA. And it makes sense then why the Clippers would be handling him even more so with kid gloves now, because something happened. Hasn't been a setback in training camp. That's good. Justin Russo asked about that. But I think you got to face the reality here of a guy who has had multiple surgeries now on the same right knee, where he had the tendinopathy in the quadricep. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm hoping for the best. Brad Turner asked, what are the chances that Kawhi Leonard just doesn't play this season to Coach Lou pregame? And Coach Lou, said he was confident that's not going to happen. They're saying he's progressing, but he's not practicing yet. And that's why the report earlier today that he's out indefinitely didn't exactly break any news for me. Because if he wasn't practicing, of course, they're not going to throw him into a game right away. Like, the real news is, when does Kawhi start practicing again? When we hear he's practicing, then we can talk about getting back to playing in a game. Until he's practicing, this is pointless, honestly. I don't know what we're doing. That it is the major step. Sorry, not getting choked up necessarily about Kawhi, but ate a chip and got stuck in my throat. Let me know when he's practicing. That's the next thing. That's the real update. They can't have a timeline yet, and I know people are upset about that because it's like this. This is my best guess. He goes through these strength training things with his knee. Wakes up the next day. Did it swell up? Did it not? If it didn't, move on to the next activity. What else can he do? This whole ramp up and build up, that's my guess for what it is. And then eventually you get to more basketball activities, practicing with contact, 5-on-5 stuff, and then you can get back to a game. That's the best guess I got for you. I know. It's frustrating. Frustrating for Kawhi too. Very much so. This is his passion. He doesn't do social media. He doesn't do any of that BS. He just wants a ball. Jason doesn't do the BS that I do. Jason Chavez said, do you think Kawhi misses more than the first 10 games of the season, or does he miss less than that? Guy, no one can know. Kawhi doesn't know. We don't know how his knee is responding to all these things. There hasn't been a setback yet. Great. How much has he really tested it yet? He's not practicing. Juan Angulo said, Clippers fans got to focus on the players who are on the court. Hopefully Kawhi can come back. But bro is cooked. Doomer. Fall off the bone knees. Doomer. I like the first part. Focus on the players who are playing. That's all we should be doing. Amir Ahmad said, I'm focused on the players we have now and James Harden condition and mental health because he got to carry. It's really a fool's errand trying to figure out what's going on with Kawhi and when he could be back, because I'm telling you, it all depends on how his knee responds to all the strength and conditioning stuff he's doing. And so no one can know, not even Kawhi. Hope for the best. What else is there at this point? Just kind of wait for that news when he's practicing. Or if news comes out that there was a setback, so he wasn't able to start practicing. I don't know. Just there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of outcomes right now. But obviously hearing there was a setback at least gives us a little bit better of an understanding of what's happening right now. I think this is why they're being this cautious. They've already had a setback with it. It's confirmed. Coach Lou confirmed it. We heard from Law and other people, there's not been a setback. Like, it's not his fault. That's the information that was out there at the time. Coach Lou gave new information. Things change. But for a while, we were like, hey, at least there's no setback. There hasn't been a setback. Well, there was. It's been a while since then. But apparently there was. So that's the update. And I think it's significant, that information. Honestly. You get a setback, it's just going to make them even more cautious and concerned with how they go about the process of strengthening the knee and making sure that when he does come back, they don't have another setback. He doesn't play a game, it swells back up. That is the disastrous scenario. Plays one game, looks okay, rusty, just like he did in game 2 against Dallas, but then it swelled up. Inflammation returns. Lawrence Frank said it's tricky. Kawhi said it could be something they have to manage for the rest of his career. But believes that they found some stuff, so that's not the case. Time will tell. You've known my position on this and my level of concern if you've listened to me back in April when others were like, it's just load management. They're just getting them ready for the playoffs. Others are still coping by saying, no, this is all load management. This is a ruse to fool the NBA so they don't get fined for not playing him on back-to-backs. That's not the case, guys. It's a real guy dealing with injuries over and over again to a surgically repaired right knee. It's not some elaborate scheme here to fool the NBA. It's not that at all. Sorry to break it to you. Anyways, I guess we're ending on a downer tonight. Although I have Taco Bell, so maybe do what I did. Let's put a smile on that face. Give him Taco Bell. All right. I'm out of here. I love you all. This has been another edition of Clippers Talk After Dark. Appreciate the people who donated. That was totally unnecessary, but it is appreciated. So tomorrow, got Robert Flom on. We'll talk about previewing next week, next Wednesday, a little bit more of this Kawhi news. KPJ, Bones Highland. We'll get into it all. Excited for that. Robert Flom was actually my first guest here on the Clippers Talk YouTube side. So a little full circle action here. Deca Fantastic said one love. It is 12:41. At least we didn't go till 2 tonight. I ain't have that in me. But you guys did give me plenty of fuel. So if you need any more pods, the post-game radio side, have that up for you. The pregame show we did, that's in the live side. Darian Vaziri, that was cool. I did a big talk earlier today when the news came out about Kawhi being out indefinitely. I did like an hour-long show before I went to Intuit Dome about that. I think we have enough content for you here on the Clippers Talk YouTube side channel. But more's coming because we are 7 days a week now. It's in season. We don't stop. Christmas, doing it. Thanksgiving, doing it. Every day. That means Saturday, Sunday too. Built different. Crazy. All right. Bye, everyone. I'm Adam Oslin. You've been listening to another edition of Clippers Talk After Dark.